1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. We all know that one, don't we? How common and acceptable has alcohol abuse become in our society? Alcohol has always been associated with having a good time, whether it's after work drinks, birthday celebrations, or even a good sporting weekend. And while we're having all this fun, are we even aware of the alcoholics among us? Or are we simply seen as the life of the party? According to experts, drinking is slowly killing our nation. The World Health Organization recently revealed that South Africa is at number 4 on a list of countries with the riskiest drinking patterns across the planet. Yes, across the world, we are in 4th place. Now, joining us today is Quintin van Kerken from the Anti-Drug Alliance of South Africa. He's an expert on the topic of substance abuse. Good morning, Quintin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Are we a nation of alcoholics that don't know about it?
The stats certainly show that. We recently finished a lot of research work. It was published the end of last year, and we saw that alcoholism is up pretty much by just on 80% in the places that we researched over the last 5 years. Crazy stats. Huge.
We talk about being in 4th place in the world of risky drinking behavior. What is risky drinking behavior, and how can people manage their drinking a little bit better?
I think it boils down to binging. And what happens is we have a good party on the weekend and we go absolutely nuts. We don't know when to stop. And then all of a sudden on a Monday, we don't go to work because we still hungover from Saturday or Sunday's party. Now, that's a problem. We tend to binge drink in South Africa. Throughout the world, you know, you do find countries that where the alcohol consumption is pretty high, but at the same time, that's over an extended period. Now, I'm not saying it's great to have a drink on a Monday, but if we actually look at different countries, if we just do it a little bit more responsibly, yeah, it's a much better idea.
We have a slide here of countries around the world that drink the most. Now, the black patch is where they drink the most. Now, that's Russia, obviously, and that's pretty much we understand that. You know, vodka is like water there. It was the one place in the world where I traveled where I found that vodka was cheaper than buying a bottle of water, actually, in Russia. Now, if you look at South Africa and where we're at, you talk about exactly that, how we drink. It's a binging or having a glass or two with a meal. We binge.
Big time. That's the problem, is the binging. It's not like going for dinner and having a beer or two with dinner with the guys, or watching a rugby game and having 1 or 2 beers. We'll have 12.
Yes.
And this is where the problem comes in, because it's not really only the alcoholism, but it's the carnage and stuff that's happening on the road.
Yes, it's all the stuff that comes out of it. Now, we need solutions. We can't just cry about spilt milk. We need to look at how do we fix this thing. Last week we spoke to Unit Blumenthal, who advocates for a ban on alcohol advertisements. Let's just have a look at this clip and then you can respond to it.
Help. We see the dark side of what alcohol does. Yet in the advertisement, the alcohol always looks supremely fabulous. It looks like it's going to get you a good job, get you on a boat to Mauritius. It always looks fantastic. But in reality, alcohol is actually very devastating. And I think as a society, we need to stop allowing it to be put as such a fantastic... We need to actually admit that alcohol is a mind-altering drug. And as a society, we shouldn't allow it to be advertised.
She mentions a very interesting point. It's the same scenario we had before tobacco advertising was banned. It's the lifestyle that's sold, the boat to Mauritius, the always gets you the job, the naked women in some scenarios. Should we ban that?
You know, I have to look at it on a macro scale. You don't really often hear of people smoking and having a car accident. We do hear about it with alcohol. Yes, I think we need to look at the way that alcohol is advertised. Young kids are seeing it. That's the problem, and it creates a very sick perception for them because they think it's pretty cool to do it when it's not.
What are some of the things that you think could be done in order for us to maybe bring down the high levels of alcohol consumption?
Well, if we
in
look
our
at what's
country?
happening with the lawmakers at the moment, they're looking at bringing in a zero tolerance bill, which I think is probably one of the best ideas ever. You're looking at drinking and driving is like zero tolerance. You can't drink and drive at all, not even walk past a bottle of vodka and have a sniff and you're going to get locked up. I think that's a good start. We have to start tightening up legislation on that and actually make an example of people that are drinking and driving and really tighten up on that. As soon as we start doing that, you're going to start seeing that dropping immediately.
Quintin, thank you for joining us. We could continue with this conversation because it's something that's very close, I think, to a lot of South Africans' hearts. If we look at the stats, we are a nation of binge drinkers, and maybe we should think about even drinking in a different kind of way. Thanks for joining us. That's Quintin van Kerken, who's from the Anti-Drug Alliance in South Africa. And yes, alcohol is a drug. If you didn't know that, we tend to write it down as having a good time, but you are actually indulging in drug abuse.